broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Oh, welcome to TechTime with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, the technology news of the week. The show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host, Mike Rday, is in studio today. He's the award-winning author and our human behavior expert and lover of all things AI. Now, today we are live streaming during our show on four of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/TechTimeRadio. Now, we're friends with different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, welcome to Tech Time Radio. Today on the show, we have our Two Truths and a Lie game show segment you do not want to miss. Will Odie, Mark, or Mike, or Nathan win this game show? Along with full details on the $16 billion person security breach and why it is not news. In addition to these features, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan nugget. And of course, our pick of the day whiskey tasting to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. But now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. No, the 16 billion credential leak is not a new data breach. The news is having a heyday on the 16 billion login credentials that have been compiled into a data set online, giving criminals unprecedented access to accounts consumers use each day. Now, a security company released their findings. I just want to be very clear that these are not new findings, and we will express the information on why we are going to be talking about that. But before, let's go to Lisa Walker with more on this story.
Billions of login credentials have been leaked and compiled into datasets online, giving criminals unprecedented access to accounts consumers use each day. According to a report published last week, researchers have recently discovered 30 exposed datasets that each contain a vast amount of login information, amounting to a total of 16 billion compromised credentials. That includes user passwords for a range of popular platforms, including Google, Facebook, and Apple. 16 billion is roughly double the amount of people on Earth today, signaling that impacted consumers may have had credentials from more than one account leaked. Back to the studio.
All right, so this should not be a surprise for Tech Time listeners, as we talked about this on episode 233 on December 15th, 2024. All right, so that is almost 6 months ago we talked about this. And we talked about the dark web that is consolidating all the accounts of these hack sites into one global account. You remember that conversation, Mike?
Sure.
Okay. We've talked about it a couple times actually on our show.
Where we talk about this stuff so much that I block everything out with liquor.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this, and so this should not be any news or surprise to people who listen to Tech Time Radio. But if you don't, and you're the mainstream media, I guess you're not weeks behind us. Now you're months behind us, and you're hearing about a security company that went onto the dark web and found that there were 16 billion different contacts that they could search for if they paid for a service on the dark web to get these accounts. Now, this has been going into effect for the last 2 years. All of the cyber criminals have been pulling together all these accounts into a master database, kind of like something like a Wikipedia type of deal where you would go on in and just search, and it would pull up each of your usernames with your passwords that are that are linked to your accounts and linked to your email addresses. So why is it that a security company now comes out with this and the mainstream media is running? I have no idea. But let me just tell you, as we've talked about, the most important thing to worry about this is understanding that your password that is out there is probably anywhere between 6 to 10 years old. So if you've changed your password in the last 6 to 10 years, you're probably in good shape. And the most important thing that we've always talked about is you should adapt and maintain good cybersecurity habits. And this should be having that your passwords all use two-factor authentication. We talk about this all the time. Those are the 6 digits that you get from authenticator apps like Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, Authy, and others that manage your two-factor authentication codes. Some password managers like Bitwarden and 1Password also include authentication functionality to use with the application. So everybody's, I hope, familiar with two-factor authentication. When you have a login for your main email accounts and your main bank accounts or any account that you have set up, you should set up two-factor authentication, which goes to your phone device, and you open the app and it gives you 6-digit code that you have to put in to log in, right? This is how you are safe. I don't care if anybody has my passwords, because I know if they're going to get into anything important with my passwords, it's going to send a buzz to my phone, and then all of a sudden it'll do two-factor authentication. Now, sometimes this happens, and guess what happens when this is taken care of? It'll send an alert, and I will be sleeping at night, and all of a sudden I'll get a whole bunch of two-factor authentication requests coming on in, which means that probably my password has been compromised because I'm not doing it early in the morning. So that's a good sign for you to go and change that account's password so you can make sure that criminals don't have it. Very simple rule. Set up two-factor authentication.
Can they get through the two-factor authentication?
Only if I would click yes. So hopefully if I'm not logging into something, I'm sleeping on the side of the bed, and I see all these alerts coming on in for two-factor authentication, I hopefully don't hit approve. Now, I have known some people that all of a sudden say, you know what, I'm getting tired of these buzzes, I'll hit approve, which would be the wrong thing to do, because now all of a sudden you gave people access to your accounts. But just don't approve it, and make sure when you actually log in, you use two-factor authentication. So there you go. This is not a new breach. This has been out there for a long time. Don't be scared. Use two-factor authentication. All right, let's go to story number 2, Mike.
You sure you want to talk about that?
What's that? Story number 2?
Story number 2.
Yeah. Isn't this your favorite?
How tech execs are joining the Army without going to boot camp?
Yeah. Tell me all about this. You were really excited when we brought this up in our production show.
I think this is ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I'll go through and explain it.
4 top tech execs from OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir have joined the U.S. Army. No obstacle courses, shouted orders, or grueling marches required.
Uh-oh.
But this is the Army Reserve.
Okay.
And it has commissioned these senior tech leaders to serve as mid-level officers, lieutenant colonels.
Okay.
Skipping tradition to pursue transformation. The newcomers won't attend any current version of the military's most basic and ingrained rite of passage, boot camp. Instead, they'll be ushered in through express training Army leaders are still hashing out, which is a form of officer training school.
Okay.
They'll do marksmanship training, physical training. They'll learn the Army rank structure and history and uniforms. But it's still like boot camp light.
Okay.
You could think of it as a pilot program. And I have a problem with this myself.
Okay, well, explain that.
If you don't put them through a training program, then they don't have an understanding of what it's like to serve in the military.
Okay.
And when they don't have an understanding of what it is to serve in the military, then they will be making decisions that aren't necessarily beneficial to the military.
Okay, what about these special groups? Like, have you watched the movie Oppenheimer, right? There's like these special people that come on in, that get different ranks, that are civilian people and don't go through the training.
Yeah,
it's just kind of the same thing.
This is not something that's not precedented or unprecedented. The Army has allowed direct commission of civilians since 1861.
Okay.
Which is, before the Civil War.
Yeah.
To bring experts in that have critically needed skills into the armed forces.
So do you think they're bringing in these individuals to help lead side projects regarding like AI or Like,
Well, it's obvious that they want to bring them in because of their skills,
okay.
because of their knowledge about technology and things like that.
Okay.
I think it's a bad idea that if they don't have any basic training, maybe not going through boot camp, but at least they need to understand what the military is and how the military works.
Do you think they would understand just coming on in as a civilian the life of a military individual if they don't go through this?
Yeah, they need to understand that because the military is a social structure.
Okay.
And it has its own ways of being and some mores and things like that. And when you bring somebody in that doesn't understand those and you put them in a position of where they're in charge, then they can make this, like I said earlier, they can make decisions that don't bring in these pieces of that information that they would know if they were military to begin with.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, I will say this, the list of the people that are there, you got the Meta.
You got the chief technology officer for Palantir.
Yeah.
The chief technology officer of Meta.
That's Kevin Whale.
Andrew Bosworth.
Is Andrew Bosworth? Kevin Whale is the
chief product officer at OpenAI.
Okay.
And then Bob McGraw, which is an advisor at Thinking Machine Labs.
Okay.
And they will be joining now this is the Army Reserve. This isn't the regular Army.
Okay.
They are going to be joining them as lieutenant colonels.
Okay. Well, I think the Army Reserve is now all of a sudden chose to have like enlistments now of people in their 40s plus. So they've changed some of their Army Reserves.
Possible.
So, that allows that to happen. So maybe this is just a branching out of that. But you clearly were very passionate that you think they should go through the military training and understand what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't actually read the whole article, so it appears that they are going to be doing something, but it's not going to be the normal route.
So that's a little bit better then, in your opinion. What do you think then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on that for the Reserve Army lieutenant colonels that are just going to be plugged into the Army Reserve command structure.
Okay. Well, the military is like in the news every moment now. You know that? It's getting more and more and more. All right,
I just hurt my knee.
Oh, are you okay? All right, story number. Well, there you go. Story number 3: OpenAI boss Meta offering $1 million to poach the OpenAI staff. The boss at OpenAI, Sam Altman, says members of his team have been getting giant offers from rival tech firm Meta, including a $100 million signing bonus. Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, is attempting to boost its AI side of business by offering to go and poach Altman's best people. What do you think? I
don't know. The Army's doing it. Why not Meta?
$100 million signing bonus.
Except where they're not,
Well, you could always go and work for Meta for a couple months, and then you can come on back for OpenAI, and you'll be ready to go. All right. Well, there you go. Now, story number 4. This is interesting. The video game Date Everything has been released. Have you heard that? This is a sensation. 1 million downloads in one day.
Yeah, I don't. Go ahead.
It's finally time to date everything. As the title of this dating sim, you can now romance things around your home. Okay. So there's more.
I don't know. Okay.
There's more than 100 voice actors who can woo from doors and walls to a mousetrap and a dust bunny behind the couch. So these are inanimate objects that you are able to date.
Okay.
All right. Things get pretty meta as you can also date the devs of the game.
Is meta
the
meta,
game itself?
Is meta another word for stupid?
Well, I don't know if it's meta. It's okay. Game itself, an overwhelming sense of dread happens. So you can even
that word is existential dread.
Existential
dread.
So you can have this dating the game itself. So you can fall in love with the game. I guess.
Yeah. This really just inflames all my psychological knowledge here.
Is it?
Yeah, this is stupid. This is dumb. Okay, this is not a good thing.
This is not. Well, I'm going to ask you in the mesmerizing moment a little bit more about this. So you're going to need to break that down. Now, there are multiple endings for each character, around 70,000 lines of dialogue. So there's plenty to explore here,
I don't
like the
know,
rug and the.
Can I get my chair to be jealous of my microwave oven?
I think you
start
can.
a fight
That's
with
what this
them?
game is. That's what the game is about. Data everything. All right, a million
I
downloads in one day.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, do you?
You know, there's going to be videos on the internet with bound chicka bound in there with the
wow,
with the washing machine.
Well, the washing machine. The washing machine is like the number one item that gets romance. That and the toilet, I guess, are the number 1 and 2 things in your house. So there you go.
I don't know why you know that, but I'm not going to ask. Okay. You probably have the game already.
No, I did play it a little bit. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. When we return, we have 2 truths and a lie. Can Nathan pass off the story as a true story that is already made up? Well, we'll find out. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll be back after the commercial break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. We verify the facts. We do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, is in the studio. Mark, what have you chosen for us today?
Today, we're drinking Old Grandad Bonded Bourbon, also known as OGD 100. Now, from Jim Beam's Distilling's website, Basil Hayden Sr., known as Old Grandad to the generations that followed, made bourbon the way he wanted. He went against the traditional grain of the time and chose to distill his bourbon with a higher percentage of rye. First bottled in 1882, very little has changed about it. A spicy nose with hints of dried fruits, medium body, shows some sweet vanilla, but more evident is the peppery spiciness displayed by notes of clove and cinnamon with a long and very spicy finish.
All right.
Now, this is from Jim Beam Suntory. Their distillery is in Claremont, Kentucky. It's a straight bourbon, 4 years, 100 proof, 63% corn, 27% rye, 10% malted barley, and it goes for $25.
Oh, this is definitely Nathan's top shelf right here.
Well, no, come on, it's not my top shelf. I got
It's on
Elijah
a
Craig.
shelf.
It's on a second shelf.
Oh, yeah.
It's a second shelf.
It's your second
Only
shelf.
because the bottle doesn't fit on his top shelf, which is a little shorter.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
exactly
Okay.
right.
All right. This is, you know what? We've had old granddads on before, right?
We've had the regular 86 proof, and we've had the 114 proof.
And how's our ratings been? Did you go back and take a look at our ratings? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I pretty much think I said thumbs up. I'm just gonna guess because this is the type of whiskey that I enjoy sitting on out in a nice summer breeze, a little fire on the side, and
Yeah,
I would enjoy
it's fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
And it's very nutty like you.
That's why.
There we go. Okay. All right.
All right. Don't
It
forget
has
to
a screw cap.
Yeah, it does have a screw cap.
Well, that's the only downside for you.
Okay.
That's all right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drink responsibly. Heaven can wait.
All right, with our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment today. We have the game show everyone can play at home, but we're going to be playing it in the studio, and it's 2 truths and a lie.
And now we have 2 truths and a lie.
All right, I'm going to read you guys 3 headlines out of the news today, okay? Or this week. Well, they may be a little bit delayed. And you're going to tell me if it's true or if it's false. Okay. All right, here we go. Story number 1. You can get a lifetime license of Microsoft Office Professional 2021 for $75. It's a lifetime license for one Windows PC, ideal for those who don't want their software without a subscription. If your current version of Office is starting to feel a little old, this might be the right time to upgrade without committing to a subscription. Now, Microsoft Office Professional 2021 for Windows is down to $74.97, marked down from its regular price of $219. It's a one-time purchase with a lifetime license for one Windows PC. Now, this is what happens when you get this. You download it to that PC. If you format that PC, the license gone. It's only downloaded to that PC. So you need to download this to your newest machine that you have. It's one account. You get a one-time use. It's a use it or lose it. After that, it's no longer there.
So it's not a lifetime license.
Well, it's a lifetime license. You will never have to upgrade. So this is what they consider old school software, but now we're calling it a lifetime license because you'll always have access to Office Professional 2021. You will never have to upgrade it.
So
online.
I wouldn't be able to use it on my laptop and computer.
No, you got one PC,
It's
a
one
Windows
thing.
PC, one Windows PC.
Here, let me touch Mike. Let me channel Mike. This is stupid.
I agree.
Well, you know what? You don't
Okay,
have to pay.
$75.
But is it a
When there's
lie
Google
or is it a
Docs?
truth?
Is it a lie or is it a truth?
Whatever it is,
Oh.
I got so much to
See?
say. on
That's
this one.
true.
So you don't know. I could just be making it all up, right?
This is a tough one. This is a tough one because it could be because everybody, replaces their PC, every couple of years
Yeah,
at the most.
yeah.
And so if they're buying this thing multiple times, that's going to equate to a subscription.
Yeah, it could. But everything now in the Office suite pretty much is subscription based. So that's your chance. All right, story number 2. Trump confirms further delay on TikTok ban or sale deadline. President Donald Trump has extended the deadline for TikTok sale in the U.S. for another 90 days. The video sharing app has faced questions over its future after the U.S. passed a law last year requiring the app to be banned unless sold by its Chinese parent company ByteDance. Lawmakers have said that it poses a risk to national security, something TikTok denies. Trump, who vowed to save TikTok during the presidential campaign, signed an executive order on Thursday, which was last week, which was delayed the date of enforcing the law for a third time. In a statement, TikTok said it was grateful for President Trump's leadership and support in keeping the app online for its 170 million users.
Yeah, that
Story number
sounds
2.
like a truth.
Yeah, this is so true.
Yeah,
You think that's
just
a true?
I think that sounds.
Yeah, I have
pretty-
no doubt about that.
That sounds like basic stuff right there.
That sounds like basic news. All right, so this is the third time it's been extended.
I don't think it's
I'm not
ever going to not
surprised-
be
yeah.
extended.
You think it's just going to continue forever?
Yeah.
It's
So he's never
it's
going to
just-
sell
it's-
it?
Have you ever heard
No,
that?
now
have
that
you
he's
ever-
buddy with the CEO, I can't see him,
Oh,
unless
the
something happens with
CEO
him.
came on over and
Yeah,
hang
have
out.
you
at
ever heard that
Mar-a-Lago.
whole-
Yeah.
They hung out.
Same with,
He
Bezos
does-
and
He's done the same thing with Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg,
But I
exactly.
think as long as you keep
as long
TikTok-
as you, yeah.
around, then you can push Zuckerberg around. If there's
There are-
no TikTok, then I guess as President Trump, you can't push TikTok around to do what you
Yeah,
can't Meta to do what they want to do.
There's a nice phrase from Game of Thrones. It's called "Words are wind."
What does that mean?
Words are wind.
Oh, they just come in the wind.
They just
come here?
don't mean anything.
Okay, well, all right. So you got 2 stories so far. Are you leaning towards one of those of the 2 stories being false? No. Okay. Here we got the next story. Headline number 3: A $500 Made in America smartphone will be released in August of this year.
That's wrong. That's false.
Well, hang on.
This is a tricky one because it's in the news as being true,
Okay, so I'm just
but it will
reading.
be false as hell.
Okay, well, hang on. So I got to read the article first, and you got to tell me if that's the true news article or not. All right, the Trump Organization, led by President's eldest son, said last week that it has licensed Donald Trump's name to a new wireless service and a gold-colored phone, the T1, as a device. It's supposed to be available in August for $499. It's proudly designed and built in the United States, the company said in a statement. The T1, in contrast, would retail for just a fraction of the price, raising questions about how such a U.S.-made device would be profitable. Now, the Trump Organization didn't disclose which company would make the T1
Oh, really?
or where it will be produced.
Yeah,
It only
what?
gave... What's that?
That's
Words are
ridiculous.
wind. Words are wind.
It only gave some technical specification, including that it will run on Google Android's operating system, come with a fingerprint sensor and facial recognition for unlocking, and has a 6.8-inch screen.
Did you
And
also mention that
2
the
megabytes of memory?
the look and the tech specs match exactly to a phone made in China?
Well, hang on. Well, we're still.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. I mean, this could be false. So
We're getting
there you
there,
go. The product page for the phone is also riddled with errors and omissions. It's described the device as having a 5,000 milliamp long life camera, which should read battery, an error that was fixed after first noted. Comes with 12 gigabytes RAM storage. RAM is generally referred to as memory, since any data stored in RAM is erased. So it's not really a 12 gigabyte storage device because that would be the RAM that's in there. The Trump organization did not say who it's partnering with on the wireless service or device, but tucked away in the website's terms of use is a reference to the service being powered by Liberty Mobile Wireless, itself a virtual carrier that uses other companies' networks. Wireless coverage will come from the nation's 3 biggest wireless providers, the Trump organization said.
So does it have the storage space on there?
It did not put the
It
storage
has 2
space on it.
megabytes of storage.
So it didn't put how big. It better be at least 32.
It'd be so huge.
It should be 32. So there we go.
It operates on a baud ratio.
a $500 made in America smartphone. Now, I just, as you were saying, there's an equivalent to this T1 that is made by China and Taiwan. They're by both companies that looks almost exactly like what they kind of modeled on their website briefly and then took the picture off. And this isn't made in the United States. I don't know.
That story was released as true.
It was released as true.
Now, it's kind of like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Okay.
Remember when they used to have the Donald Jr. and Eric on there, the 2 sons?
Yeah.
And do it. So Donald did this press release.
Yeah.
And then Eric let it slip a little later that eventually this is going to happen.
Eventually it's going to
It's
happen.
going to be made in the
So,
U.S.
so what do you want us to determine whether this is a true title or a false title?
Well, so here's what we're going on.
Okay, so the game is 2 truths and a lie. So one of these is supposed to be patently false.
That is correct.
And the other 2 are supposed to be true, but you've given us 2 that could be either.
Well, how are you going with that? Are you saying the $500 made in America smartphone released in August of this year was not released as a true story?
Yeah, I don't think it was made in America.
No, it was released as a true story.
I think that's a true release. I
There you
don't
go.
I don't think it's a true thing. I think it's a true article title.
Okay. So we're gonna go with article title. So we're gonna go with article
so if we're
title
going with
today.
article titles, I'm going to come down on the first one being the false one.
Okay. All right.
Because that seems like the most ridiculous one out of the
All right,
3
Mike,
that you've
cheers.
given us.
I'm with you.
Okay. All right, Odie, are you gonna go with the guys, or are you gonna?
Yeah,
go?
I'll do that.
All
Cheers
right.
to Odie.
A true story is the $500 made in American smartphone. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations. It has been announced that it will come out and be released in August. Now, I will just tell you, I highly doubt this will ever happen, but you know what?
False.
I do too. But that is a true story. Trump did confirm the delay of TikTok to ban the sale deadline for 90 days. So that is the true story. You guys are correct. You can actually get a lifetime license of Microsoft Office Professional for $50. Not $75.
Really?
I'm
Really?
kind of persuaded to get it then.
So it's for 50. So let's talk about this. For 50 bucks.
Yeah, that was cheap, buddy.
Well,
that was a cheap way of trying to win the game.
I also changed everything in here too. So let's talk about this. So you get a one-time purchase. The license is only for a Windows PC, but you can move it from machine to machine because you own the actual license, like old-fashioned
How
software.
is
you
this
could
any
have
different
it.
than any other license in the old days before subscription?
Well, see,
That's like Windows 95.
That's why I made it up. That's why I made it up.
Silly because they discontinue it. They don't put patches, and it actually doesn't run on new operating systems.
So that's kind of a lie too, but that's not at least how they're selling it. They are selling it for $49.97. You can get a lifetime upgrade of Office Professional 2021. Now, just to let you know, this is 2025. There has been 7
sure?
different. Yeah,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
There's been 7 different upgrades to this Office Professional 2021
This is the pandemic plus version of the.
So if you really wanted to go with something that is newer than this, that is absolutely free, I would just suggest don't purchase the Microsoft Office, and go online to use this product called OpenOffice. OpenOffice is a great tool. Have you used OpenOffice before, Odie? You're looking at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because Google's right there.
Was Google? So,
I'm a Google girly.
Okay,
You got everything right there.
She's
It's all
on
web-based.
TechTime Radio, where we always hear about how everything gets hacked and destroyed and messed up. So why would I use an
private,
OpenOffice?
Nothing is safe.
Okay, well, there is free products that are available that do come with patches that are actually good for word processing. If you need something for word processing, if you need something for your Excel spreadsheets, you can find that with OpenOffice for absolutely free. Updates every month. Good system. It actually converts PDFs better than, in my opinion, than the PDF converter that you get from Adobe, and you don't have to worry about the licensing and the trials or anything. So I would say go and look at OpenOffice as an alternative for your PDF editors.
So what does Nathan Mumm use for his word processor?
I use, of course, Office 365, so I use the updated version.
Yeah,
and
he's
I pay,
a Microsoft girl. He's sticking true.
I am. So I do use that, but I do not do the one-time purchase. So there you go.
Why would you?
Well, that ends our segment, Two Truths and a Lie. Up next, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today?
All right, Mike, here's your mesmerizing moment. Are video games getting too much like reality? Let's talk about this video game that I opened up and talked about. All right.
Is this about the data, everything? This isn't about reality. This is about fantasy.
Okay. Is it about fantasy? Well, explain to me. Why are we getting so into... I was just looking at video games online. There is a lawnmower simulator. So if I want to do my yard, I can go out and do it.
Okay, but wait, you can't hate on those. Those are fine.
What are you talking about?
Those are some of the very first ones.
Yeah.
What? No. This is a brand new release. I just was playing the
lawnmower. I played the lawnmower video game.
Okay.
Back in 1980.
Okay, well, I guess I must have had an updated version of this. Okay,
I'm sure they just recycled that because that was one of the very first video games it was like a math.
There's a pressure washer.
Yeah. I have that game. I love that game.
You love that game?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like Zen. You just go and you just clean stuff.
Okay,
it's weird.
So hang on.
Without getting dirty, without any of the hard labor.
It's a very strange, very Zen-like thing to do.
So you want to go and you want to go for your enjoyment. You want to go and you want to clean windows in cement with your power washing.
Hell yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I have tried it. I don't understand why.
That's because you're a Nathan Lane.
Mike and Odie are invited over to my house to pressure wash in real life.
That's exactly right.
That's not the point. The point is
all Zen you want in my house. Clean it up.
It's like Minecraft. You just zone out and do it.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Okay. So are these good then for society? So I mean, let me ask you.
That's such a big jump.
That's a big question.
I said,
I thought this was Mike's mesmerizing moment, not Nathan's awesomeness.
No, are video games getting too much like reality? This is the concept.
This isn't no. I don't. When we're talking about a game that allows you to date your microwave, I think that's problematic because, first off, we don't need to be blurring the lines of fantasy in the real world.
Okay.
You know, this is like the AI bots that I talk about with the dating apps.
Yeah.
The dating bots.
Yeah.
They're harmful psychologically. And it encourages unhealthy relationships with things that we want to anthropomorphize.
Okay.
Which means we want to make it human. So if I have a game that is encouraging me to treat my washing machine like a romantic partner, I don't think you need any 70s music to see the problem there.
Okay.
That's problematic.
Okay.
But if you have a game...
Now, what type of 70s music? I just want to make sure.
I already... Bounce, chicka, bounce,
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I just want to make sure.
Because we're talking about romance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need to be running around doing romantic things with your microwave.
Okay.
Because you could get hurt. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But if you have a game that, you know, all these simulator games, there's simulator games for pressure washing, there's simulator games for farming, there's simulator games for everything. Those are different in that it doesn't encourage you to blur the lines of reality in your own house.
Okay.
And so
Mike, does it
like the pressure washing thing, like I said, it can help you take your mind off of the stresses of the day because you're simply it's almost
It's
a meditation. It's almost a meditation because you're just doing something that is meditative, right? You're just doing repetitive behaviors,
Okay.
and it helps you with stress. But when you're encouraging things like dating your microwave, that I don't think any reasonable person would look at that and go, "Oh yeah, that's awesome."
Okay.
And we're reasonable people.
I didn't say that.
Okay,
I
okay.
said any reasonable person.
All right.
I mean, are you gonna what?
Are you
Nathan?
not about turning off your brain?
Nathan,
and just
what
doing
did
the
you
same
what did you
action?
date?
What is I?
You said you played the game.
So
what
I
did you
played
date?
it. I played it for a little bit to see what it was actually about, so I can make sure that when people ask me about it, and so I dated the washer machine,
And what did it do?
and it popped up this little animated character, and it says, "Hi, I'm the washer machine." So it actually
Did
put
you
a
choose the
character.
have
washing
eyes?
machine because
Yes.
of,
Where are the eyes?
a lot of people get pleasure from the washing machine.
Oh, whoa, whoa,
my
whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, no,
That's
I
funny.
did not. I did
Why
not.
are you
no.
bringing that up? You're not,
No. I just because that was the thing in the house.
I would have
wanted to-
dated the fridge.
the fridge. Okay.
yeah,
All
that,
right.
I think most men would probably date the fridge,
Okay, well, you know
Or
what?
the grill?
the
Or
grill. Oh yeah,
Well,
you
you
have
can't-
a grill.
Well,
That's my
you
lover.
you could not get out of the house. So at least the
Oh,
game.
what? It
So it only has it in the house. You're stuck in the house.
And you should never grill
See,
in the house.
even this discussion doesn't make any sense, right? I mean,
It
this is
doesn't
just
have to.
incredibly.
It's just mindless fun.
All right. Well, you know what?
It
Thank you,
wasn't-
Mike,
it-
for that mesmerizing moment.
It's mindless badness.
Okay. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side as we're going to be doing a show during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us,
That's
we could
what-
use your support on Patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm
like
the
us
English
in
guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English
Okay,
language
so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you
/
if you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on.
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
Tech Time Radio.
At Tech Time Radio.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's Tech Time Radio,
Or you can even Instagram with us.
and that's at Tech Time Radio,
That's at Tech Time Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
and it's Tech Time Radio.
It's at Tech Time Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social
Like
media.
us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it.
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. In our Wayback Machine, we're going to June 28th, 1965. The first commercial communications satellite is activated. The Intelsat 1, the first commercial communications satellite, is activated for service, and its nickname is Early Bird, after the famous proverb, and becomes famous for carrying the first commercial telephone call between America and Europe, as well as helping provide TV coverage of the Gemini 6 splashdown. So this was the idea. Intelsat has helped make Elon Musk and his idea of satellite communication a reality because of the Intelsat 1 back in 1965.
Are you sure that's why?
Well, yeah, it
Are you
is.
sure it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with billions of dollars?
No, I mean the idea of bouncing off a telephone call.
and making
into space?
and making Wally become a real thing.
There you go. All right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 250 plus weekly broadcasts spanning our 4+ years of video, podcast, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have the Mark Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after the break.
Attention, all geeks and pop culture enthusiasts. Get ready for the ultimate celebration of everything geek at Geek Fest West Game Expo, July 18th through the 20th in downtown Everett, Washington. Join us for 3 thrilling days packed with cosmic cosplay, gaming tournaments, retro movies, and a street fair brimming with unique vendors. From the innovative Geektopia Vendor Hall to the Galactic Time Warp showcasing beloved film classics, including Ghostbusters, The Wrath of Khan, and our special 40th anniversary showing of Goonies. There's something for everyone. Plus, participate in interactive events, from keynote speakers each day to special guest artists. Tickets are on sale now. Secure your spot for this epic celebration at geekfest.com. Get your badges from one-day passes to VIP options, and don't be left out. Visit geekfest.com. Geekfest West, the biggest gathering of geek fandom in Snohomish County.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right. What do we got here?
Today is a very special day for me today. You probably won't guess today.
Okay.
I'm not even going to make you guess.
Oh, all right.
It's not National Date Your Toaster Day?
Is it National Flip a Coin Day?
It is not.
Okay. He just said he wasn't going to make us guess.
Yeah.
And did you know we both guessed anyways? So, all right. Okay.
That's part of the show.
I love you too.
We have to try and guess.
We're actually, I am celebrating two things today. Saint Jean-Baptiste Day and Farmer's Day.
Ooh.
Now, Saint Jean-Baptiste is celebrated by French Canadians, which honor the traditional feast of the Nativity or the birth of Saint John the Baptist.
Okay.
And Farmer's Day is celebrated in Peru every year as a tribute to the hardworking local farmers that provide food to the table to every Peruvian. Farmer Day is also celebrated in tandem with the feast of Saint John the Baptist Day.
Oh.
You're really starting to reach for these, aren't you?
Well, thank you, Mike. That leads to why am I celebrating these two today?
Okay. Why are you celebrating?
So we're sipping Old Granddad Bonded today, which
Okay.
feels especially meaningful this year for me. Knowing my grandfather was born, raised, and owned a farm in Saint Jean-Baptiste, Manitoba, Canada.
Oh, look at there.
Where the day not only honors the patron of his hometown, it also celebrates the hardworking farmers who shape families and communities like his. So, yeah, my dad grew up on his
good.
farm.
All right. That's
Really?
cool. Now,
Okay.
Thank you, Odie.
Let's give it for his grandpa.
That's right. Now, have you ever
In
thought
honor
about
of this old
moving back
granddad.
to Canada?
I have.
Yeah. Okay.
I have.
All right. Okay. Well.
Well, let's talk about Old Granddad Bonded. Now, this
Okay.
is one of the few widely available bourbons still made under the strict standards of the Bottle and Bond Act of 1897, meaning it's distilled by one distiller at one distillery in one distillation season, aged at least 4 years, bottled exactly 100 proof under U.S. government supervision. Is a throwback to when bonded was a mark of quality in American whiskey.
All right.
Now, Old Granddad is a solid bourbon. It's nutty, as we see today. Very approachable. A great pick for someone just getting into whiskey. That said, I tend to lean to Old GDD 114, which is on your shelf.
Okay.
Which is the same mash bill, just a little bit higher proof for a few bucks more. It brings more punch and depth of flavor, and it's a higher proof. Is too much. You add a little ice to bring it down to 100 without watering it down or losing the body.
All right.
Now, with that said, this is still a solid bottle. If you're not into the higher proofs, I would definitely go the bonded over the 86 proof.
Okay.
Makes a big difference.
All right. And this is on your shelf, your second shelf, third shelf, or where do you keep this at your?
I kind of bought this for the show.
Okay.
It's very inexpensive, as we saw, $25. When it goes back, it's going to go in my cocktail cabinet.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. Well, thanks, Mark, for our information regarding our whiskey. Whiskey and technology are a great pairing, similar to cell phones and protective cases, where one item complements the other. Let me just ask you. All right, I'm going to go down the line here. How many of you guys have a cell phone? Everybody raises their hand. Now, how many of you guys, when you got your cell phone, bought a protective case?
You mean like the one on
Why are you asking that question?
Because it's just interesting that you can't have a cell phone without a protective case. So you should just actually get your cell phone with a protected case, and then you'd be good to go.
You're not those kind of people that just like deal with it for the week.
No, I
'Cause
don't.
that's what I do.
Do you actually get it without a case? 'Cause I'm looking at yours as a case right now.
Yeah, after the fact.
Okay.
But I
during
never
that-
have the case in hand when I go into the store.
When
to
I
buy the
when I
phone.
bought my new cell phone,
Yeah.
about a month and a half, 2 months ago,
Uh-huh.
they didn't have cases.
What? It was
They didn't
so
have-
new. It was so new. You couldn't find a knockoff case anywhere.
I had to order it. online. They didn't have it at the store.
Okay, well there you
I
go.
don't know how you guys do that. I order my case first.
Yeah,
Because I know during that week it's so slippery.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop it.
No, I feel so nice when I don't have a case on.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I can't touch my phone because if I put it in a pocket and I put my keys in there or something and it gets scratched, then it'll be scratched forever.
No, I feel so bougie because, rich people don't care about if they drop their phone or anything.
I only do.
Is that how
I
you
don't know.
That's
manage
how
your
I'm
life?
like, yeah.
I want to feel rich, so I don't have
Trump
a
has a
case
big
of
gold
emergency.
phone.
I can't have a case. Like,
I get it,
Mark
Odie.
said. Or you did just.
I got like this one that's waterproof and everything.
Yeah, the OtterBox.
I use mine without a case every night, but it's only in bed.
Do you have
What?
a dating
Can you
app to go
snuggle
with it?
Wow.
He's got he dates his
I
phone.
take off. I do the
You
the
take
chargers,
off- you
wireless
take
charger.
You take off it. You take
take
off
off
the
my case.
protective
So you
case.
actually take,
Is that like his lingerie? Is that?
You take off the case. Wow.
Because I put it on the wireless charger.
You can just buy a case with you can buy a case with a charger. You
Or
realize
you
Oh,
that,
those
right?
are more expensive.
Okay.
You are not
Or you could just
following
buy
the
a
joke.
I get you. I got it. I
You're
got
not
it.
following
I
the
got it.
joke.
And it does
I
feel
actually
very
think-
nice in your hands when you're just laying
Thank
there.
you.
I think
Oh
Mark
my
needs to-
God!
Right.
This is getting a little creepy.
Let's
Mark.
prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to us by Elite Executive Services.
Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh, I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, this week's technology fail comes to us from a game called Splitgate 2. Now, Splitgate 2 confirms that you have a 1 in 100 chance that when you go into the crouching mode in this new Halo meets Portal first-person shooter, you may just let off a fart.
What?
Now, players are discovering more than just portal-based tricks in Splitgate's 2 new beta. They found you can randomly let rip a loud, unmistakable fart when you crouch. Now, Splitgate is a first-person shooter often described as Halo meets Portal on an account of its old-school competitive arenas. It's a sci-fi arsenal of weapons and portals you can place almost anywhere on the map, and you go there and you take trick shots, you shoot at people, kind of like the original Quake version. But the free-to-play sequel beta is out now, and developers are managing to squeeze off those butt-clenching important changes of farty butts.
What the? Okay.
Now, hang on, we're going to talk about it. Hang
I
on.
get it. I totally agree. This is a fail.
This is a fail.
Only 1 in 100. It needs to be a higher number. That's a fail.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask the question about why do you want your dude to fart?
Yeah, why do you want it? So,
What guy doesn't want that?
no, come on. Come on.
Well, in actual gameplay, does it alert everybody
Yes,
to your
yes.
position?
Yes, it
Oh,
does.
okay. All right.
So when you go down
there
to
you
your
go.
crouch,
Okay.
what it does is it actually puts it out.
Oh,
yeah,
there, James is over there.
that's
He's around the corner. He's camping.
that's right. So
Now,
you
is it a continuous fart or
no,
is
it's
it just when
it's
you
just
go down?
it's just the one time little
So this
fart.
is-
So like if you're camping and,
Yeah.
and if you hit the crouch button, people are repeatedly hitting the crouch button.
Yeah, I
to
wouldn't be
test
able to
this
get
out.
through a game.
Right, so they're going on in and
Now,
they're
we all
going in.
know there's an array of different sounds related.
I'm
to
not
fart.
really sure that
No, there's
this
only
is
Do they
one.
rotate them, the different sounds for the different styles, or is it just one?
Do you
sound?
need to have
This
a
should have
fart
been
in
a
a video
two truths
game
and a
though?
lie. What?
Should,
I don't know that this is a fail. How is this a fail?
Yeah.
do you really want a video game where
Yes.
you're farting?
Yes.
Oh, you
Okay.
said yes.
Okay, I say yes
Oh my
because
gosh.
when you're playing something like Fortnite where people can just hide in the bush the whole game,
Yeah.
like it'll be nice that way, there's people actually fighting it out instead of this guy that's just out in the open hiding.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then
That would be kind
Yeah.
of fun.
so all of a sudden, but it only
why
has,
is the fart? Why is the bush farting? Oh,
so it's James
Can you light
Yeah.
on
there.
fire?
So no, you can't light on fire, and you have to continuously hit the crouch button down.
Yeah.
So do you think that? So Mark wants
I
different
advocate
fart,
it.
Yes.
different
I
fart
agree.
versions.
Yes,
you,
there
Odie.
should be like an array, like 7 different options that every time you fart, there's a new sound.
So you got like the long fart. You got like the
We don't
wet
need you to
fart.
catalog the farts, dude.
I mean,
I wasn't
okay.
going to go there, Nathan.
we don't need you to catalog those.
I'm just curious because I do not know why anytime I'd be playing a Halo game or any first-person shooter, where if I'm crouching down and I'm walking,
Because it's
that
a
I
form
want
of
to.
cheating.
I know we take point counterpoint, Nathan, but tell me the truth. Aren't you a little excited about this?
No, I wouldn't be. No.
You're excited
totally
to play the
is. He
game where you
totally
can
is.
fall
He
in love
just-
with the machine
No.
but not
Try-
fart on a game?
No, I was not excited to play the game. I just played the game so I could know what I was actually talking about.
Right.
No.
Okay. But so you're running around in Halo, and I'm over here in Blood Gulch, and I'm going to squat down to take a shot from a deal, and all of a sudden it's going to do this big loud rip, so everybody's going to know I'm in the corner type of deal. Come on now. We don't. You're not even going to hear a fart in most.
This is
in
like
real life.
why did you ask me the question about games becoming more real? Because that's a reality
Yeah.
thing.
Do
Especially
you
when
like
you
the
get
crouch
older.
button?
Do I like the crouch button?
Do you like the idea of
God.
having a crouch button for farts?
I just know that when you crouch in real life, sometimes you just cut one.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
It's very zen, isn't it?
It's very zen. Yeah.
Wow. Oh wow. All right, we're gonna head out to a commercial.
I don't
break.
know. This wasn't a fail.
Oh, what would we turn? It is a fail.
I'm on with Mark. It should be more often than
isn't a
1 in
fail.
100
Oh
chance.
my word! How could it not be a fail? All right, we're gonna head out to a commercial break. When we return, we have the Nathan Nugget and, of course, our pick of the day. Sit back, raise a glass. We're gonna have an argument off air during the commercial break to figure out what's going on with the farts. See ya.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon The Bookpository, and more.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, here we go. On June 18th, 2025, Midjourney crew added something we've been waiting for. Now, Midjourney is the AI tool that I talked about almost 2 years ago on the show. It's how you can create pictures in AI. It's Discord. You have to have an account on Discord. You go to their Discord area, and you would type in, create an image on X, and it created the AI images. Midjourney has now removed the requirement that you have to actually go to Discord to use their app. They actually now have an application on their site, just midjourney.com. And what it does is it does AI generation of graphics. And on June 18th, it now released video generations to create videos. Now, we actually did this during our production meeting at TechTime Radio on the radio, and it is really competitive to the OpenAI Sora, which is available online to also create video items that are available.
Did you get it to fart?
I did not get it to fart. No, I did not. But just a real quick 20 seconds layouts of how you use this. If you have a Midjourney account, it's about $19 a month. You can go on in and choose Midjourney on their new V1 application. There's a little button on the top left-hand side that allows you to ask a question first for a graphic. And then from there, you can collect on build a video of the graphic you have. Now, it comes in 4-second increments, and it tops out at a total of 21 seconds total right now that's available in the version that is released. It will continue to add different items. Now, it didn't do very good because we had some very nice AI generated pictures, and we asked it to have a kid on a bicycle jump over a mud puddle, and we actually had the problem where the bike was jumping without a mud puddle. There was a mud puddle that then would show up after it jumped. So that it did have some problems still on its generation of what to do. But as far as the motion style and the actual way that it did it, I thought it was fairly well adaptive to creating kind of an animated version. What did you think of it, Mike, when we were doing this on the demo?
Yeah, I wasn't really all that impressed with it.
You didn't think it was that great?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, just to let you know,
It's something I'm not going to pay $20 a month to have.
You don't want to do that? Well, the output right now is only 720p on an MP4 file, so it's only 24 frames per second. They do say higher resolutions will become available at a later time, but this is now getting into the features where you can actually go and request something from AI and create actual live videos.
Okay, tell me what I would want to do that with. What would I want that application for?
Well, what if you had a picture of yourself that you uploaded and you wanted to have yourself animate and maybe say a funny saying?
Couldn't he just film himself doing that?
Well, I guess he could film himself doing it. But if you wanted to have an AI do that,
I'm going to pay $20 a month so that I can do that.
Well, it'll
be my Christmas card.
Well, do you like watching cartoons? Well, you could take a funny segment of something you like, and you could ask it to animate
when
it
we were playing with this, we were messing around with a paperboy on a bicycle video, and you were telling it to jump, and you know what? I left.
You left?
Yeah.
What do you mean you
didn't-
left?
I stopped watching. I went and started reading a book.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You didn't like the AI generation?
It makes no sense to me. But then again, I'm an old guy, and these wonderful things that I'm going to pay $20 a month for just so I can play around with video. AI is just not my dream.
So now I know that you're
Not my
ditching out
goal
on
in
our
life.
production meetings, and sometimes you're leaving and reading a book.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Wow. We are looking for. Okay, all right. Let's move on now to our pick of the day, whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Old Granddad Bottled Bourbon, also known as OGD 100 from Jim Beam Distillery. Straight bourbon, 4 years, 100 proof, $25 on the shelf.
All right. This is
Nathan's going to give it a thumbs up.
Absolutely. Thumbs up. I like this. I think I've liked this before. Have I liked it before? What was my previous?
You've always given Old Granddad thumbs up.
I do. This is a whiskey I like. This has got
Mike,
the palate
thumbs
for
up,
me.
thumbs down?
I'm going to give it a thumbs up because it's tasty, but I don't find it really all that standoutish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine for me. Like I said, I prefer the 114 with more punch.
What was my previous?
Thumbs up.
Okay.
But it's a great entry whiskey for people.
Does whiskey
a lot of
Chris
people
like
love
this, you
Basil
think?
Hayden out there for those entering, and this is the cheap version, same mash bill. So if you love Basil Hayden, you can save a lot of money.
Yeah,
Go
it's
for here.
good.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's tasty.
Does whiskey Chris like this? We need to ask for his comment. We'll see what he
It
says
wouldn't
on
be
YouTube.
on a shelf.
It wouldn't be on a shelf.
Oh,
'Cause he's
it's
got
almost out of time. I did want to do a shout out. My love, my refrigerator.
Yeah. You want to say your
Are
refrigerator?
you sure it's not your phone? I mean, you disrobe your phone every night.
Oh, okay, everybody. Thank you for joining our show today. Hopefully you enjoyed the technology and comedy. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.